Welcome back to my channel. It's Aaron from GTAO VLOGS. What I want to show you today is something a little bit different. Now, if you're out anywhere in the southwestern United States, all of Mexico, basically all over the world where it's a warmer climate, there's a food source out there that's very, very common and very versatile, and I want to share that with you today. All right, my friends, our quarry is not far. Now, I found these, and there's many, many, many more, but I found these because of the road I was traveling on. And our quarry, we've got to get to it, but it's right over here. So let's get over there and see what's going on. Always got to be real careful about rattlesnakes in this kind of underbrush and overgrowth. These are what are known as Mojave yucca. They're also called, common term is called Spanish swords. And all of the yuccas around the world, the 40 to 50 different types of species, they all have similar characteristics, similar uses. They're used for foods, they're used for medicines, they're used for cordage, they're used for soaps. All right, guys, I managed to make pretty quick work of the spears. I got a little pruner here with me, and I made pretty quick work of the spears. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go about getting the whole stalk. All right, I got stuck a couple times with the spears, but not too bad. And you can see I did some pruning here. I got a nice little pruners, and I worked my way over. I've got a towel right here to put the stalk with the flowers on it. I worked my way over here so I can get to the stalk better. One of the things you always want to be careful with these is a lot of times they're going to be loaded with ants, maybe bees, wasps, and it looks like. Okay, now I got to hold the phone here somehow. All right, I got it off. It's heavier than I thought. I'm gonna put it down here now. There we go. All right, now I've only just been learning about these yucca, because a lot of times, as you know, when I'm out prospecting, when I'm out mining or metal detecting, or even in the future when I'm looking for meteorites, I come across these yucca all the time. Now, I got to get over here for a sec. I brought along a little stove, some cooking utensils, and I also brought along some information here. This is a yucca from the family Asparaginaceae. There's 40 to 50 species around the world. This particular one is called Yucca Plant. Yucca Plant. It's also known as the Mojave yucca, and it's also commonly known as a Spanish dagger. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap up. So I'm going to wrap up that cluster. I'm going to take it back, and then we're going to do some cooking. And I'll show you how that goes. All right, that's all for now. I'm going to get out of here. All right, made it down to the destination area. You can see the sun's going down behind me there, so I'm going to get to preparing and cooking up some of this yucca. I've got the yucca top, the flowering top of the yucca, and I'm going to get to doing some cooking here, so I'll show you how it goes. Little flame there. Got some of the seed pods in there and some of the flowers right there. Now, I'm going to turn the camera around for just a second here. All right, I'm going to show you guys. Here's a flower. There's a yucca flower. Sort of has a cabbage kind of texture, like a cabbage, maybe a cucumber. It's definitely not bad. It's a little bit bitter, but you can eat it, and that's the main thing. Is it's actually edible. So it's kind of got like a cabbage, cucumber flavor, but it's quite a bit bitter too. It's got some bitterness to it. I'm going to try a seed pod. Seed pod is better than the flower right off the bat anyway. So here's another seed pod. It's got a real nice texture. It's more mild. It's more mild than the flowers. Okay, let me turn the camera around again. Not bad. First time I ever had yucca flowers, yucca seed pods. By no means am I any kind of expert. I'm just learning. I'm learning, and I'm sharing what I'm learning here as well with you guys. So I'm going to turn the camera around. All right, here we are. Now, I cut some of the stalk here. I cut a big chunk of the stalk. It's a nice meaty part of the central stalk of the flowering top. You can see here, it's got the flowers and the seed pods, and what you're supposed to do, according to a little bit of studying that I've been doing on it, is you're supposed to kind of brown them to caramelize the yucca parts, converting the bitterness into a sweetness. That's how I've heard it described. So I haven't tried any of this yet, but what I want to do is I want to take this. Next time I got to try to remember to bring a cutting board, but I got to try and see. This is it's a very soft. Kind of like broccoli, like a broccoli stalk. From time to time, you're going to see me enjoying more yucca on my trips. And a lot of people might ask, well, why don't you just bring food, you know? And I do have some food. I do usually always bring food. But in a survival situation, it's helpful to know what you can eat and what you can't eat. And on top of that, this is wild. It's full of vitamins. It's full of trace minerals. Not only is it necessary in some situations for survival reasons, but it's really great to know as a source of food for the future. And I'm going to put these little pieces This is the stalk of the flower, and I want to try that too. I haven't put any seasoning salt on any of it, and I may not. See how it tastes naturally. While that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and try some of this here. Yucca flowers and seed pods. It's pretty good. It's kind of a nutty. It's got kind of a nutty flavor. Some of those flower parts. Pretty good. All right, guys, this is pretty darn good. I'm trying to figure out the right combination of descriptive words for it, but it's kind of like a cross between cooked cabbage, squash, and maybe cucumber. A little bit sweeter though. These are the center stalk of the yucca. I'm sort of frying them in the oil here. So those are looking pretty good. Now, I haven't eaten anything all day, so that might be adding to why it tastes pretty darn good, but I'll tell you what, it tastes pretty darn good. Definitely a lot better when it's cooked. It's much neutralized the bitterness. It's kind of almost like a spinach, squash, cucumber, corn. Not really a corn, but like a corn husk. Tell you what, it's pretty nice. Now this right here, turn it down as much as I can, because that stuff's pretty much done. Now, like a lot of times when I go out mining, I usually bring the yucca stem, it's got a different consistency. Little bit slightly rubbery. It's a lot more like a squash. But I also brought along some canned meat. There we go. It sure changes the whole dynamic of the meal when you've got some native, fresh foods to mix in there. It turns that can of Spam into something completely different. All right, guys. It's a little outdoor cooking. Some good clean water. Some good food. And we're all set. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to wrap everything up, get cleaned up here because it's getting... The sun's already gone down. But I just wanted to thank everybody for coming along. Hope you'd enjoyed the video. This is my first time ever eating parts of a yucca, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's very great. I'm excited about it. A lot of the places I go in the future have yucca, and the plant has different seasons, so it's got a lot of edible parts and different times of the year. So anyway, that's all for now. Thanks a lot for coming along, everybody. Take care out there, and see you next time.